There's a collection of vehicles by this bridge. We're in the south end of the island. We're going to give you guys a tour of Fort Myers Beach, but it's oddly eerie that there's vehicles here by the bridge. Who knows the story of how these vehicles got here? All right, guys. We are now on Fort Myers Beach. All right, guys. So let me just show you guys that the situation here in Fort Myers Beach.
That's where that car was.
This is the situation on Fort Myers Beach, guys. Onto some of the back streets, just kind of off the main road. You can see that, you know. There's a cart over there. That's wild. Back up a little more. Stop. You see the car in the ditch? Yeah. Off the boat dock? Yeah. That is wild. Keep it moving. That is just wild. If you think you gotta turn around, turn around. You're gonna have to be quicker. You're gonna get ran over by these big trucks. They don't play.
Keep going.
Mm-hmm. We haven't got a flat nail tire yet. We're gonna get it today. If we haven't got this flat tire yet, today's the day. Try the best you can to stay off the piles. This is pickup truck with mud grips type of driving. Stop. Oh, that does. Keep going. Here, just make sure you stay down the center road. The smell. Garage we just got. Oh, a double bicycle. Remember we used to have one of those? We couldn't ride it, we're too fat, but we had it. Something we got from a job site. So, wow. This shed is just, wow. Look at all the debris on the other side. Stop. Back up a little bit. Move forward slowly. Gross. Wow. This is like unrecognizable. I wonder if the guy that remember the guy that used to have
Yeah, that's what I was trying to point
yeah,
out to you.
which house it was. I remember
I
that.
know what house it was.
You know which house it was?
Yeah, it was on the
I want to
corner
see
up
him.
here.
Okay, so then I know what the garage looks like if I see the house.
Yeah, I saw it.
I don't know if he still lives there though. Stay as much as you can on the road. It was this. Was it this house? No.
No, it's further up.
Oh, look at this one. It's just totally collapsed. Stop in front of this house for a second. Let me get a little forward. No. I think it's this one right here that we're working on. We're real slow. It was this house right here. The cars were gone. This guy had a car I wanted to buy forever. It was only $1,500, but I was never able to get the money. Oh man, that's a house. Nothing's left. The roof is somehow standing. This is on the southern end of the island. I mean, I don't even know how the house is still standing. I used to always come by cars here in Fort Myers Beach. We bought the white truck. We bought it. Remember my work truck? We bought it here. The black BMW. We got it here. I kind of had a habit of trying to buy cars off of Fort Myers Beach because since it's a little bit more of an affluent area, sometimes you can get a deal. Not always, but sometimes I'd be like, "Hey man, this car's a piece of crap, man. Makes your house look bad to have it parked here, man." So the black BMW, we bought it here. For what, $1,100 or $700? You remember how much you paid for it? $700?
It was like $500.
No, it was like $700 or $800. It was a little bit more than that. Yeah, $700 or $800. This phone's really struggling with. Oh, way behind you, but real slow. So real slow, real slow, real slow. Almost crawling. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Everybody's behind you, like slow down more. There you go. Slow down. You're good. Real slow, somebody coming. So as you can see along the main strip here, this is the main road. Not much left, guys. Does pull up behind you, you can take the middle lane, which is like a vacant lane. So you can stay going real slow. I really want to capture all this carefully. This is on the southern end of Fort Myers Beach, guys. I remember this house. I always liked this house. It had a beautiful banyan in the front. It's nothing like what it used to be. Unless somebody's behind you, you can go slow. It's like piled up all over this canal. Slow down. See, I couldn't imagine myself, even if my house was here, if my neighborhood looked like this, that I would just stay here and then be outside screaming and angry at people. I would leave. To be here a month later and still be outside screaming at people and angry, I would just leave. I wouldn't put myself through that. Like, even when I lived in Alabama, when things got bad there, I had a beautiful house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, on an acre with woods and giant trees. Take it right down this road. When things became uncomfortable, I just left. As soon as things got uncomfortable, this looks nothing like it used to. I just left. Like, when things in Alabama got uncomfortable, and I left. I'm not gonna, like, nothing, no places. If I was here trying to rebuild my home and try to live my life and, you know, trying to, like, get back to normal, I understand. But to be here and to be outside screaming at cars passing by, angry and throwing rocks at people and stuff. Esta tipo se va a atravesar. Yeah, if being here would turn me like that, like where if I see a car outside, I'm throwing stuff at it, I would just leave. I really would. I left Alabama. I had a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, acre of land, and when things got to that point, I just left. You know? It wasn't worth it. When the neighbors started trying to make my life impossible, I left. It wasn't worth it. You know, it wasn't worth it. But it's interesting how people like that are still here. Like, if I were here, I'd be trying to rebuild my life. I wouldn't be like angry, and to be here angry and miserable at the world, I can't be like that. Life is too short for that.
Come here as needed and just be happy
Yeah.
that you made it through the storm.
I wouldn't let anger and frustration like consume my life. Maybe for a little bit, but dude, it's been a month. If you're still here and you're angry and screaming at the world, then clearly, you know, with $10,000 you can rent an apartment, you know, in Sarasota like we did. You get a 7-month rental like in another town and just. What about maybe I gotta fix that GoPro. Gotta get on and change the battery. Stop right around here so you're not. A little more.
I think right here might be good.
Okay, go for it. It's a bus stop. Why are they running buses, by the way? Are people really doing them? Using them?
Yeah.
Alright guys, we're gonna walk around Fort Myers Beach here and just show you guys what things look like out here. This area is kind of in the middle of the island. We're not quite north or south, we're kind of somewhere in the middle. But the island has like a little bend here. So we're on the part of the island now that's like at the bend. So this area here was just at the worst angle for the wave of water that came in. Keep in mind that the number was like 50 or something like that here on Fort Myers Beach. So this isn't light. Let's just go for a little walk and kind of get up and the street sign's gone. Hasn't been found, so they just kind of made their own street sign, you could say. It's one thing to drive by this place, but it's completely different to put your feet on the ground. Kind of slow it down a little bit. Not much that can even be said, guys. This is difficult, to say the least. The Gulf of Mexico is beautiful, but it is also powerful. Feels like your blood pressure is going through the roof just walking through. You know how in the video I said, oh, I've done nothing to help anybody, and I'm not doing anything to help Fort Myers Beach? Well, if you think about it, I've spent the last 2 or 3 years making videos, fishing here, driving through these streets. Think about all the videos, hundreds of videos. And there's 3,000 videos on my channel right now. Probably 100 of them are driving through these places, right? You know how I said, I don't help anybody, I haven't helped anybody, because I got people that are trying to tell me that I need to go pick up garbage or something, you know what I mean? I wonder if they're doing it, by the way. Probably not. But you know how I say, oh, I don't help anybody, I haven't helped anybody. I'm not gonna help anybody here, but the last few years, I've done nothing but record hundreds of videos, both for this channel, as for my fishing channel, right here. And now today, those videos are possibly some of the only memories some of these people are gonna have of this place. There was a house somewhere in this area, over here. I'm not sure exactly where it originally laid, but there was a house somewhere in this area that's actually over there right now. But when I looked on Google Maps, I'm familiar with Fort Myers Beach, but not 100% familiar, But there's a house that right now is sitting over there that I actually found it on Google Maps, originated over here somewhere. And I don't know specifically if somebody wants to timestamp where it went. But there's a house that's over there right now that was actually over here. So the storm surge literally picked up the house and pushed it over there. Now what's crazy is that you're looking at commercial buildings, concrete block. Somebody's flying a drone over here over these houses. Now what I want you guys to know is that when you're flying a drone, you're not allowed to fly a drone over somebody's house unless it's your own. Okay? So you're not allowed to fly a drone over somebody's house unless it's your own. So if it's a roofer flying that drone, good. But I've seen videos on YouTube where people are flying drones into structures and stuff, and clearly, if they're doing it to 20 different structures, there's no way you got permission to do it. So what people don't realize is you have to fly a drone 200 feet over somebody's house. If it's not a property that's yours, you don't have permission. And I think a lot of people that are uploading these videos to YouTube right now with drones, I don't think they understand that the Federal Aviation Administration, they don't play those games. And eventually, it's not going to happen right away, but eventually they're going to give you a $5,000 fine for every single video. So like, here's a drone flying right now. It looks like a DJI. It looks like the drone that I used to have. Not a DJI, that's an Evo. It's the same drone that I used to have. It's about an $1,800 drone. But unless they actually own this property here, see, they flew away with the drone now. So they had it stationed here, and they flew away with the drone. But see, they're flying that drone at about 50 feet over these properties, and you cannot fly a drone at 50 feet above somebody's property. So the operation of that drone right there is actually illegal, unless it's like a federal person that's doing it. You know, if they're law enforcement, I guess they could do it. Take a look here. You have pieces of metal that are stuck on the wires. Concrete block structures that are destroyed. But anyways, unless that was a law enforcement, and even law enforcement, I believe if they don't have a warrant, they can't do it. Or maybe here they can get special permission. But you can't just fly a drone at 40 feet above people's houses. And there are so many YouTubers right now that are new to the game. Now, they might have had a channel with 40 subscribers or something, and they think now they're big shots because they're recording hurricane damage, and they're going to record these videos. And I don't think they realize that the Federal Aviation Administration, they're going to wait a few months, and eventually they're going to hit you with some of the most insane fines you could think of. You have no idea, okay, how insane these fines are. They'll find out. You could have very well assumed, hey, my house is a concrete block structure, you know, or it's up 20 feet. Well, it was 20 feet. Not anymore. You can see a tractor here, and I don't know if this tractor was here before the storm or not. But guys, we're clearly looking at, these were homes. These were homes that were here. You can see the foundations, the vegetation around the home, but they're gone. Power cables are down on the ground, haven't been picked up. You know, and it took me a while to get out here. It's a month today. A month today since this. A lot of YouTubers were out here pretty much right afterwards, possibly without really being legally able to do so. The amount of misappropriation that I've seen other quote unquote creators, the amount of misappropriation that I've seen during this event has just been incredible. In that there's so many people out there that they'll go to any extent to get footage of something, to try to get on the internet and get some online clout. Go to any extent to just get this online clout, including risking freedom, you know, not worried about fines, not thinking that law enforcement will eventually catch up with them for, you know, their misappropriations. It's crazy. So we're dealing with a situation here on the ground where a lot of the content that's on the internet are other people who ignored evacuation orders and stayed in places they weren't supposed to. Now, me and Katie, if you remember, we're trying to stay right on Fort Myers Beach, believe it or not. If you watched my live stream a few days before the hurricane, Katie and I were trying to stay right on Fort Myers Beach, believe it or not. Wild as it sounds. That is, in fact, what we were trying to do. But when they ordered the evacuation order, we said no, not gonna happen. So we were trying to stay right on Fort Myers Beach. We were doing that. We were on a live stream, actually, so it's not like I can deny it. There's hundreds of people watching the live stream where we're like, okay, we're gonna try to stay here. But when they ordered the evacuation orders, then we understood, okay, can't do that. And I can't deny that the Gulf still looks beautiful to this day. So what we got ourselves today, guys, is like this. When they told us the evacuation orders, we left. We were trying to stay here on Fort Myers Beach. We even found a hotel that would have let us actually stay even without with the evacuation order. But I was like, no, it wasn't worth it. So if I'm not mistaken, it's this building right here that was originally on the other side of the road and now is here. But think, this building was originally on the other side of the road. Because when I looked it up on Google Earth, I couldn't find this building. So now it's on this side of the road, right? And if I'm wrong, correct me. But I looked it up on Google Earth. This building that's on this side of the road was originally over there somewhere. Wild. Actually gonna hop on the other side of the road because it looks like I don't want to be against that fence there, but it's just wild. There's a motorcycle on this side, and again, you can see that this building couldn't even be here. The setback starts here, so the homes are supposed to be back there. So this building, the most shocking thing about this building isn't the way it looks. It's where it originated. This building wasn't originally here. You can see that they don't put buildings that close to the road here. The original house is there. So this building somehow ended up here. From way over there, was pushed to here. And stopped when it hit the front of this house, which looks like an older house, but I'm gonna be honest, it looks well built, well put together. This house here looks like, even though it's an older house, it looks real strong. Looks well put together. Broken window there on the second story, and this house has some type of deformity to it structurally, looks like. They actually went in and fenced off these properties. So we've driven through here a few times, but to actually be on foot, it brings this to a different level of comprehension of what took place here. Sometimes it's hard to even come up with words, to be honest. And I'm really okay with the fact that I waited until we were actually allowed back on the island to do this. A lot of quote-unquote creators didn't. And it's odd that we didn't have to have this conversation, but trying to see if we can stop. In some places, the water even dug trenches to where now what was once concrete is just a hole now. Like it's the case with this building, where you can see that the water actually dug about a 4 or 5 foot trench underneath this building. There's no structure that can, you understand? It's just too much. This party stop you. These buildings here, at least from the outside, show to have very little structural damage, at least visually, right? Now there's a curfew, so in the next 10-15 minutes we have to start moving off the island because of the curfew. There's officers here from many other parts of Florida. I've seen pretty much Broward County, Hillsborough County, Orange County. So other parts of Florida have rendered incredible assistance to Lee County in helping all this stuff come back. At least provide security and whatever they can provide. Lots of support from other agencies. So prior to this event, you couldn't see the ocean from here. But now, quite literally, you can see the ocean. Sorry. So when you look at the scenario, you can make out that the building, that's where the building was. So this is like a hole that formed, possibly as the storm surge was receding, and it swallowed pretty much appliances, entire parts of buildings, and almost this vehicle. Pretty much almost buried the vehicle down there. You can see that this building has an incredible foundation and almost made no difference. It went down that deep. Well, guys, I think there's something we can learn from this shot that we're looking at here. And it is that you may want to evacuate during a hurricane. Because if you don't, well, self-explanatory. You know how many quote-unquote creators have come to this island? How many of you think have noticed that this sign here for hurricane evacuation in front of this? Takes a little bit of a detailed eye to come across that detail. But there it is, hurricane evacuation route. So next time you order to evacuate for a fire or hurricane or any other reason, you may want to take note of that. So we're gonna leave Fort Myers Beach today with a lot of areas still unexplored. We've only touched the surface of what's going on here with today's travels, but we have a curfew that we need to get off this island like immediately. So we're gonna run over there and get off the island because there's now a curfew and we're not going to violate that. So we need to go now. Leaving a lot unexplored, a lot unseen, but it is time to continue moving and we'll come back. I just want to show a part of Fort Myers Beach on these videos that hasn't been what you've seen on other creators who've only focused on the little tiny tourist section up there. Hundreds of videos, some of them even before they were allowed to go in there, somehow they got in. So we want to give you guys just a different perspective on the situation. But now, approaching curfew, it's time to get off this island because we don't want to get a husband in the Marcino Motel assigned to us tonight. Then we have about a 100-mile commute back to Sarasota area where we live at our new home. So it is clearly time to get the crap off of this island. It's time to get out of here. There's another station there for garbage.
They're just throwing it anywhere.
Yeah, they have to just make piles until they can get to it. Mobile shower station.
Oh yeah, it's about it.
There's a huge staging ground back here for debris. With another, wow. Okay. Crap, no, no. There's a orca mural there I've never seen before. It's not big, but it's there. Go to the end. go around the loop before you leave. Take a left, take it. Not there. You know where the main entrance used to be.
No left.
No left. You could if you wanted to. Go. Go on. And then go around the bridge to the bottom. You have to take a right. If there's a place you can park for a second. Not forget it, just go. We'll come back. There's nothing we can do this late. The curfew's in 20 minutes. I'll take a right.
Can you go down this
Yeah, you
side?
can go this way, yeah. Watch the curb, you're getting close to it. There you go.
Wow.
Low power mode, there it goes. Unbelievable. You can go back around the loop underneath the bridge and then get out. We'll explore it again.
Is that even open?
Yeah, you should be able to get underneath that.
Because that's what
Law-abiding Catherine. Oh, look, the cops are gonna arrest you again. Relax, it's playing, man. I'm telling you, you're good. Relax, you're good. They're not gonna arrest you. You're the driver, so if anything, I'm good. I'm a passenger. I don't really have a choice. The good thing is, I'm not a driver. You're the driver, so I'm good.
make you drive.
No, you're the driver. They're gonna arrest you. Yep. I'll just say that you were forcing me to stay on. I didn't have a choice.
I'm off to add it.
Yeah, I'll find
So I'm no longer
now we go. Yeah.
we're breaking curfews. No, Biden.
Law Biden. You're Law Biden.
Yes.
I wonder if they got that big boat off at one place finally.
My parents raised me well.
Parents were gangsters.
Yeah.
How did a boat that big end up over here? That's wild. You know what they did? They should have taught you how to drive. Was what they should have done.
The boat ended up on a car.
Yes, we've done videos here in the past.
Yeah.
I thought they were already cleaning this up, but I guess
No, I
not.
thought so too.
Still there. Why did they teach you how to drive instead of teaching you how to be law-abiding?